Okay, I gotta talk fast here. The Hilda video was originally supposed to be very unscripted, just me talking into the phone like this. Turns out that really did not work, so now I'm gonna make a script. So to pass the time, I'm gonna talk about IDW number 5 and number 6 right now. Also, this is probably gonna be like a long video, so that's why I'm making this very short. So, IDW issue number 5. When this issue first came out months ago at this point, I thought it was okay. I didn't really care for it all that much. The only thing that really bugged me about it was the final page, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Rereading it now, I can definitely say that's good. It's better than I remember it being. So let's start out with this thing. So starts out with a page spread of Sonic and Espio fighting badniks. They destroy all the badniks. Espio tells Sonic the tale of how they got to this point and finding Eggman. And turns out they did not find Eggman themselves, they got an anonymous tip. So good for them. So they go to the town and Sonic is introduced to Mr. Tinker, who is the reformed Dr. Eggman. The rest of the issue is them basically talking about whether or not it really is Dr. Eggman or not, or something to that effect. Basically, Sonic tries to interrogate him a little bit, ask him about things that happened before, and we learn that while everyone's been interrogating him, basically, trying to figure out what he remembers, what he doesn't, which is apparently nothing. He's been very helpful to the town, apparently. He's fixed everything, and, well, nobody really knows what to do with him, because he isn't hurting anyone anymore, but at the same time, he's kind of a monster and deserves to be in jail forever. So, it's handled pretty well, I think. And that's basically the majority of the issue until near the end. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. So, spoilers, I guess. Neo Metal Sonic has some forces that are coming at the mountain, and Sonic and the Chaotix destroy them, and Metal Sonic screams no. Apparently he was not happy with that, so whatever. And all's well, it ends well. Sonic and Mr. Tinker shake hands, everyone's about to go home happy, and then Mr. Tinker talks about Eggman Land, and here's where my real issue with this thing kind of happens. As soon as he says this, Shadow and Rouge come in, and the issue ends on a cliffhanger. And I'm going to get into like issue 6 in a couple minutes, but this did not need to be a two-parter. It really didn't. Like, issue number 6 is completely pointless. Like, aside from like the last page or two of issue number 6, which could have just easily been in this issue, it doesn't do anything except say that Shadow and Rouge are in the IDW comic, which is just set up for battle for Angel Island later on. And I don't like that. Because issue 5 was already kind of crowded, because you had Sonic, the Chaotix, which is 3 members, Eggman, plus the village elder. He had some screen time too. So, trying to fit all these characters into one issue and trying to like make them all stand out, give them personality and whatnot, it didn't go too well. Charmy and Vector got nothing really. Espio got the most out of the Chaotix, and I think he's certainly the most interesting and fun out of all of them in this issue. But most of the screen time, the comic panel time, you know what I mean, goes to Mr. Tinker, which is fine. It's his story after all. But it's still rushed, and the cliffhanger is just didn't need to be there. I mean, we'll get to issue 6, like I said, but just take the last couple pages of issue 6, put it here in this issue, and then bam, it would have had just one well-told single issue story. But they had to drag it out to part 2, so let's get into it. But okay, before that though, I just want to say this. I do like this issue. I do like issue 5. I think for the most part I think from page 3 onward all the way to the second to last page, it's a pretty good comic. Also, the page spread with Shadow on it looks kind of weird. What's going on with his mouth there? It happens again in issue 6 a couple times, but I don't know, it's kind of weird. Okay, issue 6 time. Okay, so I was not looking forward to rereading this issue, which is why this video just took so long, because the first time I read it, I didn't like it at all. I thought it was the worst issue yet, and it really just almost killed my interest for the comic entirely. So, well, I changed my mind, I guess, because it's not as bad as I remember it being. Let's get into this thing. Yay! So, starts out with Shadow and Rouge coming down from the roof. Why were they on a roof anyway? I don't know, you'd think they would just like walk into town normally, but for some reason they were just standing on someone's roof. Whatever. Okay, so Sonic tries to tell Shadow. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, sorry. So Sonic tries to tell Shadow that this is not Dr. Eggman, that he lost his memory and everything. Shadow isn't having it and wants God damn it. Wants justice to be served to Dr. Eggman. There, I got it. For like 10 fucking tries. Sonic is getting kind of annoyed with him, so a fight breaks out. Yay. Sonic and Shadow fight. Never seen that one before. So the Chaotix try and help, realize they can't do shit, and play Rouge. Oh, I actually do really like that page. Especially that panel. Do it. I'm reading right now. Rouge's reaction is just really good too. So Rouge was the anonymous tip from last time. Shocker, I know. And ow, just slapped my face accidentally. Not mean to do that. Stupid shocked face, whatever. So yeah, it turns out she was the anonymous tip, and yeah, she kind of set all this up because she knew Shadow was going to try and do this. And let's see, back to Sonic and Shadow, racing around. And, well, there's good and bad points here. So, Sonic tries to convince Shadow that, well, Eggman has done good in the past, like at the end of Sonic Adventure 2, where Eggman helped them save the day, after he caused the entire mess himself. But Sonic also brings up the Black Arms, which is a very good point. Because without the Eggman Empire's help, they probably would not have won. Sonic trips on a tree branch. No, tree root. Yeah, a tree root. Falls into a tree, which is funny. And this is where really I guess technically not my first problem, but the thing that made me really not like this issue last time, and I'm still not a fan of this. Basically, Sonic says that if, after everything that Eggman has done, if he can't be forgiven for like all that, who's to say that Shadow can be forgiven for everything that he has done? Mostly from SA2, because he's... and possibly Shadow the Hedgehog? I don't really know. It's unclear. But between those two games and everything that Shadow has done, it is a good point. But at the same time, it's also different from Eggman's case. Eggman lost his memory entirely. Shadow In SA2, he realized what he did was wrong, and he tried to fix it, and almost died in the process. Shadow the Hedgehog, okay, you got me there. Can't really figure out what the hell was even going on with that story anyway, so. But in the end, Shadow still did the right thing. You know, like, no matter how far Shadow goes, to like how far gone he may seem or like may do something bad, he always comes back and does the right thing in the end. Like, he's not like Eggman. You know, he's also like grown from his experiences. And that's why I don't necessarily agree with this 100%, but I get the idea behind it. But I still don't really like it all that much, but it gets Shadow to back off, so it worked. And Shadow realizes that, well, Sonic lured him away, which gives Eggman enough time to do something with his whole Eggman Land thing. And Sonic says nerds. I don't know what that is. Does anyone know? I feel like it was supposed to be a joke, but I don't know. And suddenly Shadow's using Chaos Control, which, why is he using Chaos Control now? Why didn't he just do it before? Chaotix show how useless they are, as Shadow just Chaos Controls right past them. And he looks really not good on this page. It's like this one panel up near the top. I'll show it. It looks... What a bad looking Shadow. And Shadow demands to see the Eggman Land. It is satisfying looking at this, but so Eggman shows him, and it's this little thing for the kids in the village of like old badniks formed into a little thing to like little rides and stuff. And yep. And Rouge makes another funny comment. Rouge is so good in this comic. You know? Like, she doesn't actually do much, but like the two lines that she actually does have are pretty funny. She's a good character. You know who I'm talking about. I mean, you know who I'm... never mind. The person who's not going to watch this knows what I'm talking about, at least. So Sonic gets back just in time to like see this. And then the final page here, well, second to last page, is basically what should have been the end of issue 5. Oh well. So yeah, everyone goes home happy. And then we get the reveal of Neo Metal Sonic as Dr. Eggman still. And that's issue 6. So I don't think this is a bad issue, actually. But I'm not going to say I think it's good. Because this issue is overcrowded. So along with... Actually, that elder from last time just kind of disappeared entirely. But, so... The characters here. There's Sonic, Shadow, Chaotix, Rouge, and Dr. Eggman. That is... Rouge. Assuming I can count correctly, that is 7 characters in this one comic alone. Rouge does absolutely nothing in this issue. Dr. Eggman did everything they needed to do in issue 5, so that's fine. Most of the issue is spent on Shadow and Sonic. And the Chaotix really don't do anything here. And one problem I have is the lack of explanation for there being no Omega. It would have been so easy just for like Vector to ask Rouge like where's like Omega at, and then she would just say that she like didn't tell him about this mission that her and Shadow was going on, or like she sent Omega off to go do something instead so that he wouldn't get involved, because like obviously if Omega had showed up here, nothing would have stopped him from killing Eggman in this issue. Like, I don't think even the combined forces of Sonic and Shadow could defeat Omega. Like, maybe the combined forces of like all the heroes could have like taken them down, but Omega is a really powerful robot. And in the Archie comics, he was built to kill Sonic, so like obviously he was like very powerful. Like, obviously, it's not like the same here, different comic and whatnot, but still, you have to. Omega is just a very powerful robot, though. Probably gonna be like talking about Omega now, like until he like, actually shows up into the comic. But yeah, but this issue is overcrowded. The whole this doesn't really need to be a thing anyway. Just kind of makes it feel pointless. And I really need to shut up now because this video is getting way too long. But yeah, I like the issue. It has its problems. I'll probably try and explain them in the description if I remember to. Also, if you made it this far, leave a comment. Oh, damn it. It hit my comic on the thing there. God.